on what you're looking for. I watch people get stuck in Frozen, and that breaks my heart. I was once stuck in Frozen too. Greatest superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people. And you will be bringing tears to her eyes and warmness to her heart today. So thank you for that. And she's taking a class in the science of trees. And I want all of you to guess what the name of that is, the science of trees. But she spends hours out with her professor and classmates walking around the woods and identifying trees, Vivian. This is a beautiful thing, although sometimes it's quite interesting that this is what I'm paying for, but that's a story for a different day.
What is it called? It's not horticulture?
No, it is not horticulture.
Okay.
I'm going to leave that to Gina if she's listening in, because my daughter would kill me. I forgot the name of it.
Uh-oh.
I was like, this felt like a Jeopardy moment. And I'm like, does anybody know?
I'm dropping the Jeopardy moment. But Gary, how about a fun fact, my friend?
I used to work undercover in undercover drugs in Europe.
Wow.
Ooh.
That's dropping the mic. How about
Yeah.
that?
Holding out on that.
I want to know more about that, but we're going to keep rolling for a minute. But thank you, Gary, for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I got a fun fact for him. He has been married to his beautiful wife for 36 years. Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I've some dear friends that were high-ranking FBI officers from here in New Jersey. And a fun fact, I'll drop in with this one, that my dear friend who retired from the FBI by the name of Ed Peterson, he changed my life. I went to high school with his son, and we've done a ton of work, with him in big cases we've been involved in. And he authenticated Mark McGwire's record-breaking 70th home run ball back.
Wow.
So yes,
Fun fact.
to the MLB. Yes. So Vivian, we got some amazing folks. Let's keep it rocking.
We have from San Gabriel, California, Tony Valenzuela.
Hola.
So,
Okay, good. From,
That's all my Spanish, by the way.
that's it? With that
got it.
name?
I'm the whitest looking Mexican guy you know. I call
That's
myself
awesome.
Mexican undercover.
very amazing.
Undercover, I love it.
Yeah.
From fending off the bullies to overcoming childhood obesity, a broken home, and spinal injuries, to becoming a successful entrepreneur, public speaker, and certified transformational trainer, life and business coach. He knows firsthand that to overcome roadblocks, you have to have a vision, intention, and execution. And it's precisely this method of coaching that he offers to CEOs, executive celebrities, elected officials, and even at-risk teens in order to achieve success. So welcome, Tony.
Oh, thank you so much.
Tony, welcome, brother. Thank you so much for being here. How about a fun fact, my friend?
Absolutely. One that came to mind this morning was actually when I was young, and I had some older siblings, about 10, 12 years older than me. I was about 4 years old, and they thought it'd be funny when mom left to create a birth certificate saying that was my adoption papers out of a Maytag washing machine warranty. They put my picture on the Maytag warranty. I cried for 8 hours until my mom got home.
Tony, that's terrible.
Oh, boo.
That happened. But that was some.
That's not fun.
I'm
Yeah,
still
there's
holding on to that, by the way.
Yeah, I understand
Still-
that, brother. We
Still a
get
little bitter.
some post-trauma release work later in the show, but that is definitely not a nice thing, but an interesting fun fact to be sure. We have the fun fact of all time on the Real Raw, which I will drop this after this, that occurred today. Vivian, Frank,
Ooh.
folks, amazing. I'll come back to that in a minute. Vivian, please.
Oh God, I'm in stitches. I can't wait. We have the kick-ass sales guy in the house, Chris Cumby. Chris Cumby. He's coming in from Northwest Florida near Alabama. A top-notch knowledge worker and a nationally recognized sales and marketing expert and consultant who helps entrepreneurs and CEOs grow their top-line revenue as a business coach. He even helped one of his energy efficiency companies exceed their revenue in the hundreds of millions in the public markets. Christopher has appeared on the Brian Tracy TV show, been featured on NBC, CBS, Fox, and ABC. He's also the host of the Success Playbook and On the Move podcast shows. And he's also the author of the Success Playbook book, helping you to refocus on your dreams with journaling and other tips to help you define your personal vision of success. So welcome,
Thank you.
Chris Cumby.
Thank you.
How are you? Welcome.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thank you for being here so much. And how about a fun fact?
I'm Canadian. That's a fun fact.
That is a fun fact.
I live in Florida, and I immigrated here 5 years ago. So I had to get out of that cold weather for all those in the north. I just couldn't do it anymore.
What part of Canada?
Toronto. I was born and raised, but I lived in Vancouver for a while, lived in Ottawa and Montreal. So I had a chance to, see a little bit more than just Toronto, but, it's certainly home.
Yes, I have my fun fact, another fun fact is I have a stowaway Canadian who just sold her place in Toronto living in my house.
Amazing. Amazing.
No, yes.
I
Mona,
probably know them.
yes. Oh, not. That would get a little
I'm just joking.
I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Cutest stowaway, Mona.
All right.
So hello, Mona. Yes, thank you. So Vivian, amazing people, amazing day. We have Canadians and bears and Maytag warranties being turned into traumatic events. It's another day on a Monday on the Real Raw. Nothing's happening. So who else is here today, Vivian?
Oh my goodness, we have AKA Mr. Orange in the house.
I love it.
CEO at the Mr. Orange and CEO of Lois and Clark, a serial entrepreneur for over 50 years. He started, created, and sold multinational electronic service companies, producing hundreds of millions of dollars. He's also a business coach and aims to help entrepreneurs like himself live their best lives by pooling all the knowledge accrued in the past 25 years in the personal development world to get you there. So welcome, Frank Clark.
Thank you, Viv.
All right, what's up, brother?
How are you, Sean?
I'm
Welcome to
doing-
Monday.
How was this weekend for you, Frank?
Dude, it was incredible. It was incredible. It was a lot of mic dropping moments all throughout the 3 days. Yeah, it was fantastic.
Present and very grateful for you. And how about a Mr. Orange fun fact on Mastery Monday?
On Mastery Monday, well, I grew up in Boston and I'm a huge Aerosmith fan. I've been to over 25 shows, most of them in the first 2 rows of the stadium, and I partied with Steven Tyler at the Playboy Mansion as well.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
There we go. Excellent.
Man, what a
So-
great fun fact.
That is a great fun fact. So now I want you guys to vote. And especially for Vivian and Frank, because you guys have heard many, many fun facts, but you could all weigh in for today. So we have a gentleman today who is a naval veteran who we acknowledged and thanked for his service on TTP and Joe Hagan's Rora Open earlier today. And this gentleman's fun fact was he was on naval maneuvers in a lagoon in Micronesia. And out of the jungle ran 2 women who were escaping, and they rescued them off of this island in Micronesia. Is that a cool fun fact, Frank Clark?
That's a very cool fun fact. Absolutely.
Between
if
the
you
2
have-
women and not knowing where Micronesia is, I was very thoroughly ensorcelled with the visuals in my head.
Right.
Yeah, Micronesia is not an island off the Caribbean, is it? I mean, because a lot of guys have rescued women there.
Like in the area of Truk and Palau, it's like go to Hawaii, Vivian, and like fly over Guam and keep going into the middle of nowhere, and you'll be into some of the most beautiful scuba territory in the world. It was big World War II battleground. Ships sunk all over the place. I know that in Jeopardy, but I can't remember my daughter's tree thing yet. So in the middle, I'm gonna. All right, so let's drop in. We got some amazing people. Vivian, mwah, love you. You are the best in the world. And if you would like to have Vivian like in your pocket as your partner, co-host, introducing people and introducing you everywhere you went, please give a yes.
Reach out to me.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You can
Reach
be a
out.
guest on my show
No,
too.
you're not going away. Do not go away,
I'm
Vivian.
not leaving. I'm not leaving.
Yeah, I love you. I'm kidding. Thank you so much. The amazing Vivian Guzman, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, reach out to her if you want to learn how to do the amazingness that she does. Thank you, Vivian. Mwah. Okay, so Frank Clark, let's rock and roll, brother. So we have amazing, incredible people here today from Oahu, right? And Andrea's like, Andrea, you got any bears hanging out with you right now?
No, I keep looking, but no, not
All right.
yet.
If you have any bears come out, please tell me. So Frank will be anybody, Francis and Andrea, that you want him to be. Frank will be an ideal client avatar. Heck, he could be like a voter if you want to vote. A little bit of election stuff coming up. Maybe he could be in the Senate approving your Supreme Court nomination and fighting things. Yes, we like to have fun in the Real Raw. And he could be somebody to put on stage or raise money for a charity. whatever a yes for you that would matter in the world, because things begin after yes. And we're creating here is heart-centered, integrous yeses. So Francis and Andrea, maybe we'll go, since Francis would clearly be the away team from a little bit further away. I have a 1 or a 2 under the table. Francis, what do you think? It's a 1 or a 2?
2.
It is a 1. Ugh. Andrea, would you like to go first, or would you like to throw your friend from Hawaii right under the bus and have her go first?
Since she's been here before, I'm going to have her go right under that bus.
Right under the bus, Francis. Here we go. So, Francis, who would you like Frank to be?
Dancing right under that bus. Okay, I'm doing the limbo. Okay,
I'm sorry.
Wow.
it works for me. Mr. Orange. May I address you as Mr. Orange? Is that
Sure, Frank or Mr. Orange, whatever you like,
I heard
or whatever your role is.
my level 5 listening, Francis, heard a little bit of emotional, energetic transference in how he said you can call me Frank, but we'll leave that for later. So, Francis, is it Mr. Orange? Who would you like him to be? Stay away from the Frank part. Yeah. So, who would you like him to be?
Mr. Orange.
Oh my God.
I have a reference to Frank. My father's name is Frank, so that
Well,
resonates.
you can call him Frank. It just sounded a little too friendly for Frank, and I was making sure we were keeping appropriate distance and boundaries for you, Francis. But since you're in Hawaii, I guess you can call him Frank. Okay.
Everyone's ohana here in Hawaii, right? It's so much of a family culture, and I do love
Aloha.
that. So thank you, aloha, Sean. So I would love if you were yourself, and I actually am not sure, but if you had a daughter, you pretend you have a daughter in this scenario.
Okay, I actually do have a daughter. So.
Amazing.
Even better. So there you go. You're playing yourself. And how old's your daughter?
My daughter is 37 years old.
Perfect. She's a perfect candidate. Okay.
Okay.
Take
All
us,
right.
Francis.
Yes. Am I going? Am I good? Okay, I'm going.
You're good.
All right, Mr. Orange. I am super grateful to meet you here today and on The Real Raw. And I would love to know more about your background, because it sounds like you have an incredible business background. And I know we have limited time here. So I wanted to ask, what is the best advice that you've given your daughter in regards to business?
Wow.
I know it's a big ask, but
that's
I know
a
that
great.
you love her so much that you're imparting on her as much as you can. So
Thank you. That's a great question. I have given my daughter lots of business advice. One piece of advice that she now uses in her email signature is the phrase, "You miss 100% of the shots you never take," by Wayne Gretzky. And so a piece of advice that I always kept pushing her to do is always ask, is always step up. Ask for what you want, no matter what it is, no matter how outrageous it would be, especially when it came to her getting raises. And I would say, well, ask for the money that you want, ask for the money you deserve. And she said, but Dad, that's so much more than I'm getting paid now. I said, then ask it this way. Does the company pay this amount of money for anybody in this company? Is there what value would I have to bring to this company to make the kind of money that I'm asking? I will bring you more value and prove it. And she always did.
that's incredible. So it sounds like you've imparted on her so much of your wisdom, and because of that, I imagine her to be a very successful woman. And
She is very successful. Very successful, and now a mother of my grandson as well.
Oh, that's incredible.
Wow.
Congratulations on that.
Thank
That's
you.
Cool. Yeah. So I am so curious what your advice would be for me then. So I actually have, as Vivian had mentioned, I've been a real estate investor for years. And through that, I discovered, personal development world, and always learning and always growing. And what really lights me up is finding people like yourself that are also on that journey and on that path. And specifically, I found so much kinship and just incredible ohana with various other women that are also in the space of just growing and creating. So I'm so curious if your daughter would be interested in a group that I've started, Empowered Wahine, which is all about supporting, celebrating, and inspiring women like herself, that like women like her, like me, like Andrea here, that have started companies, that want to start more companies, and that want to be surrounded by other women that are doing the same thing to celebrate and inspire each other. So I'm curious if you'd be open to sharing a group like that with her so that we can just learn and grow together.
Well, Francis, you have an incredible energy. I feel captivated to say yes to you for just about anything, just because, you're just very lovely and bubbly. I'd like to know a little bit more about your group before I would recommend it to my daughter, but it sounds like energetically it would be a nice fit.
Hey, Frank,
So,
Mr.
Can we
Orange,
chat again?
you got a quick phone call and you can bounce right back to Francis in just a moment.
okay. Yeah. Francis, I'm sorry. I've got to grab this call. I apologize, but maybe we can catch up some other time.
No worries. I'd love that. Thank you so much, Mr. Orange.
Thank you.
Francis, you have such beautiful and amazing energy. Outstanding job. How'd that feel for you?
I actually felt a little bit awkward and nervous. So thank you for saying that. Yeah, I actually felt a little bit awkward.
Well, it comes across. Do I hear a bird chirping in the background, by the way?
Yeah, the birds are just outside.
Oh my God, how awesome. How awesome is that, right?
Right.
Amazing. Okay, Frank, you had one word for how that encounter felt for you, Mr. Orange. What would it be?
Comfortable.
Nice, very nice. Okay,
Yeah.
not too comfortable, Frank, right?
Not too comfortable. No.
Very good.
No, we don't want to get too comfortable.
All right.
Social distancing here.
Thank you. Andrea, are you ready?
I am ready. Yes, I can be.
Yeah. All this is about is heart center going from hello to yes. And listen, let me explain a little context, right? We're having fun and going crazy. My name is Sean Callaghy, and 23 years ago, I discovered that influence is a superpower, and that I had gone to Columbia University undergrad, and I'm currently blind. My fun fact is I'm a blind guy that taught a blind guy to surf in the last month and to win a carnival games, right? But the reality is that I had no idea the way the world really worked, and that our ability, people sit in a default no, like they close their listening to us, and we could be telling them the greatest thing in the world, like, hey, just make sure you take your vitamins, right? And there's like a closing when we feel like people are telling us what to do, no matter how great it is. And we unquestionably need to know when to say no, but we also benefit enormously when we have something to give people and we can get that message through and they act on it and say yes. In fact, everything happens after yes. The building of electronics companies, the suicide prevention was a real raw moment earlier today. Getting your accounting, legal, medical services, but how do we like rise above the noise authentically and integriously in every conversation or encounter we have with people? And that led me to build a 40-person law firm in 2 years out of law school on $100,000 in debt as the first person in my family to go to college, build a 125-person law firm that I currently have, sell from stages and break records in some of the biggest stages in the world, including Tony Robbins and other things. But it also has helped me raise millions of dollars for charity. And that's been something else that Integrity-Based Human Influence has done, and create Unblinded and work with amazing people like Vivian, Frank, and yourselves, because we're all here today on the 261st episode of The Real Raw since COVID began. Thank you for being here. And Andrea, that's what we're playing with. So with that framework, who would you like Frank to be that's a relevant yes that you might be seeking in the world?
Okay, Frank, I have a whole persona for you. Okay, I would like for you to be a personal trainer, being the entrepreneur you are, a personal trainer that is actually, you have multiple facilities.
Okay.
10, 20, 30, your choice. That's who I'm looking. That's who I need you to be.
Okay.
Awesome. All right.
I can do that.
Take us in.
Okay. Can I call you Frank?
You can call me Frank, Andrea.
I'm
Absolutely.
gonna call you Frank.
Yeah, Franklin,
Okay.
call me Frank.
Okay. So Frank, how you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Feeling
Good,
fit and
good.
great. Yep.
Good.
How are you?
I'm good. So we met at that Halloween party, last week. I don't know if you remember me. I was the little Italian girl running around with those skeleton pajamas.
Oh.
And you were the bodybuilder with the pretend barbell.
Mm.
And we were talking a little bit, and you said you were a personal trainer. And I wanted to get a little bit of information, see what you've done, like what led you to where you're at now?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thanks, Andrea. What led me to where I am now is I grew up the second shortest kid in my class, and I was skinny all the time. And as a result of that, I was bullied a lot as a kid. And I didn't grow until I turned about 18 years old. And that's when I studied martial arts. I got my black belt, and I realized it was more just to protect myself, but then I really enjoyed working out. And so I got more into bodybuilding. I saw the health benefits of it. You know, my parents and my family have lived a long, long life. My, you know, lineage is like 90-year-old people in my family. And I just believe in health, and I believe in fitness, and I believe in looking the best you can. So that's what motivates me all the time. And I won't be
Ah,
bullied.
you know what? That really resonates with me, and it sounds a little bit like my brother's story and my father's story. So that hits close to home. You've actually made it sounds like from when we spoke at the Halloween party that you've really taken that and you've grown tremendously with your facilities and with helping people. You know, so to me, that's a lot of giving back. So I appreciate that. So thank you.
Oh, you're
Um,
welcome. Yeah, you're
um,
welcome.
yeah, so a little bit, you know, that my story with kind of how it relates to you is my family growing up, we've always had that. The bullying thing has always hit me hard to my core. My father always raised me to fight back myself. And I have my brother, we have, and my, you know, my father taught me a lot, but being diagnosed with lung cancer made me do more and with the community and wanting to do more with the community. So what really I'm looking to do, and I'm wondering if we can possibly lock arms and talk further. I am looking to give back to lung cancer research, and a lot has to do with the fitness world. So I was hoping that maybe we could, you know, lock arms and see where we can give back, because it's a big thing right now. I don't know if you're familiar with what's going on with lung cancer research, but it's big right now, and it's the number one causing death with cancer right now. Would you be interested in maybe talking further?
Yeah, hey,
I,
Frank, right before
yeah.
you jump in, we can answer that beautiful, incredible cliffhanging question right after you take a quick phone call.
Okay. Yeah, Andrea, I'm sorry, I got a blast. I got to grab a
Okay.
call, but you know, um,
I'll be right back.
I'll be right back to you. Absolutely. Thank
Awesome.
you.
So, Andrea, how'd that feel for you?
I was comfortable. You know, I think that I don't know if I got enough information from him first to hear a little bit more about. I know the bullying was a big thing, and that I didn't get into the health, and I probably would have gotten into what, you know, who he's helped, how he's helped
Yeah.
along the way with.
But remember, Francis, Andrea, that was an interrupted conversation that's 6 minutes long. Frank's bouncing right back. So you're interrupted mid-conversation. It's not over, right? So, you know, I think you guys did a beautiful job. This whole first section was just about connection and rapport building. And Frank, if you had one word for assessing that encounter with Andrea, what would it be?
Curious.
Cool. Awesome.
Curious.
All right. Let's drop in with some of our amazing and fine judges. Gary, sir, how are you?
Outstanding. How are you doing?
Outstanding and grateful for you being here. And if we could keep judges to our beautiful feedback round at 30 seconds, I'll hold the phone up at 30 so we know we're complete, just to keep ourselves moving on time. And Gary, if you have maybe in the 30 seconds for Francis and Andrea each, first 15 seconds on what went well, and the last 15 seconds on a few bullets of what could be optimized, and then a score on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being optimal. So, Gary, what do you have, please, for Francis?
Well, with Francis, finding the hot spot, she did really well. Trying to find out what it is that Frank likes, and trying to establish that relationship and get him to open up about his daughter. And so I really loved the common ground. She found that common ground pretty quickly. With Andrea, she found pain. She found Frank's pain, and to have him open up in an initial conversation to share that with someone is pretty amazing. Get him to open up about how I was bullied. And so that connection can go so much deeper. So Andrea did a really great job on that. On Francis, I just think, a little more information, bullet points, and really try to get the feed in to Frank. This is what I'm selling. This is my hook. So finding that hook. And I think with Andrea, same thing. You even knew it. you knew that, you should have gave Frank a little more information and discussed the health side of it, because he gave you that information. He said, I'm a healthy guy. I work out. I love fitness. So you really need to get plugged into that as quickly as you can. So, you established his pain point, and then you need to go right into the health part.
3 seconds. Right. And what did you have for scores for Andrea and Francis, Gary?
I want to say that Francis was, okay, I'm not going to get booed by the Russian judges, right?
No boots. Listen, the courage and vulnerability to come on is outstanding, and the courage and vulnerability to be a judge and give real feedback like you just did, and each judge will, is also a beautiful thing. So, and that's how we're unpacking things and helping people get better. All of us.
Right, right. So I would say that Francis I had at a 7, and Andrea I had at an 8.
Nice. Well, excellent, Gary. Thank you for your candor and the depth of your feedback. Yeah, thank you. Tony, what do you have, sir, for Francis?
Francis, yes, I loved the fluidity. She was very. It felt like she was really smooth. I know she said she wasn't really connecting with it, but it sounded like you were really in it. Regards to your flow, what I'd like to see further with that would be more detail in looking at where you're headed with the conversation. That would have been very powerful to connect those and get to the point of where you're heading with the conversation, and have Frank there get an experience of what his daughter will be going through and connecting with you about. And then as Andrea, I really love that you opened up with your personal story. What a beautiful, intimate connection you created right away. And also very similar to Francis is that I noticed that you weren't very detailed at the end about where you're heading with your commitment to the work you're doing. And perhaps that could have been a good driving mechanism to connect him to it.
Awesome. And what did you have for scores, Tony?
Francis, I gave a 7, and Andrea gave it 8.
Nice. Very good. Chris, how are you?
I'm doing excellent. Yourself?
Doing excellent. So what do you have, sir?
I have for Francis, you opened up with a question. I'm a sales trainer. Questions are the best way to open it up. It allows you to get right to what you're looking for. I found that obviously with 3 minutes, it's not a long time, but if you're doing cold calling, you have to get good at that. And one of the things that I would say would probably allow you to stay on longer with them is to make sure that first of all you can get their information quicker, because if you do get cut off like you did, at least you can do a follow-up, because you might not get that phone call back. So I would say that you did an 8 out of 10 for me, because it was warm, it was great, and I think you drew Mr. Orange in nicely. Andrea, leveraging meeting before, I love that because it takes all that coldness out and creates warm, and you did that well, to the point I think Gary and Tony made. You got the pain out really quick, and I think you were relatable to something that he'd be interested in, and again, not a lot of time, but I would just make sure that same thing for Francis that I mentioned, just get their information quick, because you don't know how long you're going to be able to keep them on, or better yet, do a follow-up. So that's all I would say.
Amazing. Great job. And how about for scores?
8 as well. I'm going to keep it neck and neck for you guys. We'll see what you do in the next round.
Awesome job, Chris. All right. Mr. Orange, Frank is back from his phone call. Andrea, are you ready to continue in round 2?
Me or Francis? Me first?
Yes, you go first in the second round. Yes.
Oh, goodness. Okay, I'm going to the yes, right? I'm trying to get to the yes. That's the second portion?
Yeah, and the yes, remember, the yes could just be for a longer meeting. It doesn't have to be the ultimate yes, right?
Yeah.
So this is not Boiler Room meets Wolf of Wall Street. This is Integris Heart-Centered Influence. Good?
Okay.
Yeah. So, all right, Frank's back. 3 minutes, please.
Hey, Frank.
Hey,
Nice
Andrea.
to be back with you.
Thank you. Nice to be back with you too.
So I wanted to talk really quick. We didn't get a chance a few minutes ago or a day ago, whatever it was. We didn't get a chance to talk a little bit about some of the people that you've helped along the way with in your health facilities. And so I was kind of curious, is there any particular, are there people that stand out for you that you've helped, in any of the facilities you've been in or that you've started?
I guess the ones that stand out for me are obviously cancer survivors. I love, the recovery story with that. My mother and sister both had breast cancer, survived. Um, my Another thing that I really like is people with Parkinson's. I noticed that disease, with people working out it doesn't cure it, but it certainly helps it quite a bit. Now my aunt just recently was diagnosed with that, so I have a special passion for that as well. But in general, anybody that's recovering from anything that's especially life threatening.
Sure. Sure. My great grandmother had Parkinson's. Yeah, and at the time, I mean, she was my great grandmother, so she wasn't in a fitness facility boxing like like now. I know my brother is training some people that have MS and those types of things, and so it really does help. Chiropractic work helped for my great grandmother.
Yeah.
That's what helped for her. But I share that that special, want to help people that with Parkinson's. Breast cancer is terrible, and the diagnosis, I mean, it's a lot. I know that the numbers, they stand for themselves, but I share a lot of lung cancer, and with my family, lung cancer has been the number one thing that I've looked at. So basically what I'm looking at is I started my company Healthy Hero it's a CBD health and wellness business, but I've started that business because I wanted to mainly give back to lung cancer research. My father worked with the oncologist that works on all the trials in the United States. So my goal is to definitely give back. CBD was something that I looked into immediately when my dad was diagnosed. So I am looking to partner with people in the health field that share my passion for cancer, for lung cancer. And there's certain ways that, I am giving back.
30 seconds.
So what I would love to do, and I don't know if this interests you, but I would love to meet face to face, be able to sit down and show you kind of the numbers and where I'm at and what I'd like to do yearly for the oncologist and lung cancer research. Is that something you'd be interested in?
Yeah, I mean, I'd certainly like to learn more. I mean, we're COVID conscious, so maybe we do it over a Zoom call, but rather than face to face. But yeah, I find what you're talking about very interesting. And yes, let's do that.
Awesome job, Andrea. How'd that feel for you?
Good. I mean, I think I would have went longer, but 3 minutes is, I'm staring at the clock. So
You did a great job. Excellent. So Frank, how would you assess that connection that round?
I thought it was a lot more persuasive. Again, she got into a little bit more of her heroic, unique identity, which I related with, and she paid more attention to what was important to me.
Awesome. All right. Excellent, Andrea. Francis, you ready? Frank is back.
You're muted, Francis.
Aloha, Mr. Orange. Thank you so much for taking my call. It's good to connect with you again. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. Thank you. Aloha to you.
Oh, thank you. I like to say, by the way, play on words, fantastic. So I'm doing fantastic right now.
My name is Francis, so I'm fantastic too.
There you go. I knew it. We had this bond in common already. I felt it. I wanted to ask you again and connect with you about what you had said about helping your daughter out with business and the amazing advice you gave her about asking for more. And I'm curious if you've seen that women in general, and I'm making some broad assumptions here, but I'm curious about your experience as a man and a successful man in the business world. If you've seen that women in general tend to downplay their achievements and their successes.
I think that women are highly successful. As a matter of fact, 90% of the people I hire are women, especially in sales. My lawyer's a woman, my doctor's a woman. Most of the people in my life are women. So I definitely believe in the power of women, and especially when they can step into all four energies, maintain a Zeus energy or fun. They tend to be, in my opinion, a little bit of an advantage, especially in the sales room, because they listen better. If I'm making just a general statement, they tend to listen better, and they tend to be a little bit more mothering, so that you feel a little bit more connected. So yes, I do think that there's some advantages with women, and I don't necessarily always believe that they step into that role. Although a lot of guys don't step into their role either. You know, it all boils down to their level of self confidence.
Yeah, no, I think thank you for that. I've definitely seen that as well. And what I've also seen for sure is women who they're amazing and they're successful and they're doing all these things in all their areas of life, but they don't give themselves credit for it. You know, it's like, oh, I achieved this, but then I'm just going to the next thing, or never really like stopping to look what I just did. I don't know if you've ever seen that with women in your life or your daughter, but that's just something that I've seen and just curious if that was your experience as well.
I'd say that's my experience with all people. I wouldn't necessarily just say it's unique to women.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you for sharing
30
that.
seconds to go. 30 seconds to go.
Okay, so so I'm curious if we could actually schedule another chat because it's really really amazing chatting with you here, and there's more that I'd love to share with you about the group that I have, and more I would love to also gain more insight into what you're doing and be able to offer something of value to your daughter that I think would actually really help her to connect with other power women. You know, I'm putting together a power call in 2 weeks that I'd love for her to be part of, but just other women that are doing amazing things and that want to show up in every area of their life. So in their business, in their families, in their relationships, you know, with their time and just really showing up fully as themselves. So I'd love to connect with you further to maybe just chat, maybe for 5 minutes, 10 minutes about it, if that works, 10 minutes. And would that be good with you?
Sure, I think we need another conversation because I'd really like to understand more your unique and specifics about what you do. I think you have a great energy, and yeah, I'd like to continue the conversation, but learn more about specifically what you do. Thank you.
Awesome. Great job, Francis. How'd that feel for you?
It felt good, but I like to talk. So the 3 minutes is a great thing for me to work on. Because I want to know, I want to connect with people. And to me, connection is so much is having that conversation and letting it go where it flows, you know?
Yeah. But right. So could I lean into that just a little bit on a point?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a beautiful, incredible thing, right? And the outcome here, though, is to create and expand connection in
Mhm.
like massive ways with people, particularly in the space of women, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So if somebody's only got 5 minutes
Mhm.
and we have to like open their listening in that short period of time and convey what it is that you're up to and communicating about. So it's, and I'm saying this, I know you know this and live this, but it's about them, right? So our desire, like how we want to connect, is beautiful and amazing, but we have to fit it into the frameworks of time, the reality of that construct, to
Mhm.
create the ultimate outcomes. So can we play a game for a minute?
Yes.
Okay. Can I be you?
Sure.
All right. And how about you are Frank? Let's just go with that. You're Frank. Good?
Cool. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Let's drop in. So, hey, Frank, I'm so grateful for the time that we spent on the Real Raw. That was really cool. And you're a lot of fun. Like, how did you get involved with the Real Raw and this Mr. Orange and like all the stuff you're up to? You're an interesting dude.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I connected with Sean Callaghy. He's just this amazing man, entrepreneur, heart of gold, loves to give back. And I resonate with that so much myself. That's who I am as well. I've built businesses, I've sold businesses, and I have such a desire to give back that I love connecting with people that are doing the same thing.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And I know that you are up on a big mission to create your own movement. So the Orange movement, and I'm like present to the word movement, and I'm sure there's intentionality behind it. Why didn't you just say like Orange coaching or like why movement?
Because I see it as such a progression, right? Life is always movement, life is always a journey. And so it's something that's both here and ever evolving. So that spoke to me in terms of what the ultimate mission of that movement is and the people that would be ultimately drawn to it, that would be in that movement and that journey together.
And thank you for like that intentionality and impact. And I know you've been creating a lot of different disruptions in Unblinded, in the Tony world, and all that. But I was serious though, in the fun role play we did about your daughter. And so, as you think about that, truly, and I know you've been to like everything in the space of personal development, and you've seen and heard a lot. and everybody makes bold claims about what they can do in transformation and this and that, and it gets exhausting. Would you agree, Frank?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely it can.
Yeah. And so, but for your daughter and like what she's up to in the world, like what's her mission? Like orange, not orange, like where's she headed?
She's definitely part of the Orange movement. It's a beautiful family affair, and I'm really happy that she's a part of that. And she's doing incredible things. She's got a wonderful job with the company. She asked for that raise and got it, the one I was telling you about. She's
Yeah.
actually making more than double of when she came in because she was bold enough to ask for that. So, and with that, she's able to as well give back, live a life, amazing life, have a beautiful time with my grandchildren. So it's really cool.
Well, congratulations. Sounds you have an extraordinary relationship and some beautiful dynamics that are present for you there.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate, very grateful.
And listen, I know we're basically out of time, but I meant what I said. My mission is to connect with women and to create acceleration. I think there's some unique dynamics about how women influence, communicate, and accelerate. And I think the world of you. That there's a lot of things we could do to potentially merge ecosystems, as you and Sean like to talk about. And I love to, in benefit of you and your wonderful daughter, have a conversation with her to hear it from a woman's perspective and see what we can co-create. And when I say that, I don't mean general exploratory. I'm doing an event and I'd love to offer an opportunity for your daughter to come and participate potentially and explore what that might look like and how we could help each other accelerate. So how would that feel for you, Frank?
That sounds really great. I'd love to do that.
All right, pause. So Francis, how did that feel for you? Is that what you're doing? Was you
Yeah.
effectively? Yeah.
Yeah, that was effortless. It felt really effortless.
Okay.
Like I couldn't not say yes to you. I had to say yes.
Okay. But
I
I mean,
want to accelerate. I want to innovate. Yeah. I want that for my daughter. I want that for everybody.
all right, very cool. Well, great job, Francis. So
Thank
Tony, thank you. So Tony, how about some thoughts, feedback for Francis and for Andrea?
Yeah, her energy is amazing. I love it. It's just really fluid and she connects really, really well. And come down to the same thing regards to the description and your point of where you're heading with the conversation, being more detailed and getting a better connection regards to the end result of what you're offering. So that way there is an enticing position that Frank gets to choose into. And I love connecting with the daughter. All fathers want the best for their daughters. All fathers want have an amazing environment, and having him walk into that would be a great way to have him be kind of running the show, having him own the fact that he still wants to be a part of his daughter's life, and he has her best intention in mind.
Amazing. And how about for Andrea?
Andrea doing a great job too, and I think you started hitting more points towards the end with more details, which is really important. Getting the connection to the exact facts about where you're headed is really important. You did a great job on that.
Awesome. How about scores, Tony?
I'll say 8 and 8 today.
Nice. Excellent. Tony, thank you so much for being here today on the Raw, by the way. And
Thank you, Sean.
How was your experience?
Oh, it was great. I love this. This is cool.
Yeah, well, appreciate you very, very much. All right. So Gary, ready to go?
Ready to go.
Yeah, for Francis and Andrea, please.
All right. First, I want to say, ladies, you did a great job. I commend you. Really, this is how you get better. Put the work in. Be intentional. I'm an artist, so you really want to paint a picture with words. So make sure you got those key words that you can use in your presentation, that they're in here, and you're ready to go. With Andrea, I love that you gave him a question and got Frank to open up right away. You set the anchor with your personal stories. It's so important. There's that strong connection when you set that anchor. And then the ask. You were very direct, which is great. And you got a yes. The other thing, you filled out details this time. You got much more detail in. So I really loved your presentation. And I'll give you an 8. Okay. With Francis, you updated from the prior conversation, which was good. Just reminding him this is what we were talking about. And then got Frank to share his business philosophy, how he hires and who he hires and why he hires. So it's great to get into his mind about his company. And you need a little more details. Once again, you got to fill that out, paint that picture for him. And the ask, and you've got him to say yes. But my recommendation is don't set a time limit. Said, I need 5 or 10 minutes. Just, it's best to just leave that alone. Okay. Because you're going to need more than 10 minutes. Look, you were under the gun in 3 and you get rushed. So you need to breathe, relax, love the energy. It's amazing. You did an awesome job.
Awesome. And how about
and,
scores?
7.
Nice. Okay. And how was today for you, Gary? Thank you so much for being here. And how was it for you today?
I love this. This is the juice for me, is talking business, personal relationships, how to connect. This is exciting and I appreciate it. I'm a first timer and I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed today.
Thank you. This is our 261st episode of The Real Raw since COVID began. And so
congratulations.
Thank you.
That is amazing.
Thank you. Chris,
Yeah.
how was today for you? And let's jump into some feedback.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, this is my first, and I love this stuff as well. This is what I do. I train. I work with people. Role playing is not easy, because it's an environment that is staged, obviously. But I think both of you did a really good job of creating the environment. Because one thing I liked on both of you is you drew out some, you provided some knowledge, but you also tried to attract it back to see what he knew. But I would do this for both of you and give you a couple of good tips. First of all, any meeting that I like to have is like to make sure that they do me a favor really quick. Can you do me a favor, Frank? Can you tell me if you're interested or not after we have this chat? Because if you're not, I don't want to chase you. I know you don't like to be chased, and certainly that's not what I like to do either. But if there is an interest, will you tell me, we can set up a meeting to go forward? That's the stuff I like to put right on the table, because Frank will just go, yeah, this is easy. I can say no. Right. So that's one thing I'll say. Stories are great. You related to Andrea, your story about what was important to you. Again, I would do a scale just to pull out knowledge. How much do you know about women in business, Frank? If I was to say 0 being, nothing, or, 10 being you're an expert, where would you lie? Because then you have a good idea on where you need to make up the difference if you're the expert in this area, and so forth and so on. Same thing, Andrea. What do you know about CBD? Frank, have you ever experienced it before? If 0 being like nothing, 10 being high, what would that look like? And so forth, because it's always good to know as much as you can. And again, you guys did an amazing job. This is an amazing platform. Sean, love it. And you guys did a great job. I'd give you both 7s here. So I scored you guys neck and neck. So it was good.
Thank you, by the way, Gary, Tony, Chris, great feedback. Chris, brother, I lock in on this all day, every day, have extensive background in the science of influence in all sorts of ways, and the precision of each of your feedback, and, as certainly you, Chris, it was outstanding. I love pulling out the scale. I love creating that disruption for openness, of contrast. So great feedback, guys, and really thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
Yeah, awesome. All right, so Andrea, how was today for you?
Good. I was nervous, but you know what? I love this.
No,
nice.
This is fun.
Yeah, you did a great job, Andrea. And thank you so much for being here. And somebody, Andrea's like, I don't know, man, should I go on that Real Raw thing? And I got to be like, get some feedback. Like, I'm not sure. What would you tell them?
I tell them, jump in. I mean, honestly, I always say, who gives a crap? Who gives a crap what happens? The
Self-censor.
Yeah, right. I had to watch myself.
Good job.
We'll have a Real Raw shirt that says, who gives an S with like asterisks?
Yeah. But I would say, you know what? I said to myself, why wouldn't I do it? I mean, if I'm horrible, I'm horrible. Whatever. That
was awesome. Thank you. Francis, thank you, Andrea. Happy Mastery Monday one more time, and aloha, Francis. How was today for you?
It was great. Thank you so much, Sean. Thank you so much for all the judges, Mr. Orange, for your role playing. Super grateful for all your insights. And to me, like with what Andrea just said, it's like, it's not going to be perfect. I don't have to be perfect to show up. I think that's been just a big life lesson for me. I just need to show up, and I'll continually improve and evolve. So thank you all for being part of my improving and evolving. Thank you.
Amazing. And Francis, what type of birds are chirping behind you?
I wish I knew. I have a friend who was on a call once, and she identified them. She's some kind of bird whisperer. So I'll have to call her and have her tell me what they are. I have no idea.
Dendrology. Dendrology.
Oh.
I swear to God, I did
Oh,
not.
you got it.
It just
It
like
hit him.
popped in my head. Dendrology. It was like, yes. Okay, so dendrology. Courtney, I love you, and I did not forget. Yes. So, so Mr. Orange, how was today for you? Final. Great job, brother.
Lovebirds. Oh, there we go. Francis. No. My experience is always fun on this. I've done a couple dozen of these, and I really love, any role on this. I think it's amazing, Sean, the technology, using the formula to get from hello to yes, and doing it through integrity. I mean, I'm a seasoned sales guy, and have always heard the selling and pitching and hooking, and nobody likes and closing, and nobody likes to experience any of that. So the methodology here that we're using with integrity to get to yes is just phenomenal and outstanding. It's it's the way we're going to change the world, right?
Yeah, amen, brother. And with a no nonsense, no BS dude like yourself from
Yeah.
Boston, I'm very grateful that you see it. So love you guys. Happy Mastery Monday. Let this be the beginning, not the end. But if it happens to be the end, let's always remember that influence is a superpower, and the exponentiality of the impact of influence is the secret to it all. And it starts with heart-centeredness. Love you guys. Have a great day. Thanks.